We are 1 week away from the primary runoff election that's coming up on the 25th. Yep, we're going to vote for governor. We're going to vote for state superintendent of schools. There's even county commissioner races in places like Blaine County and Ouachita County. But by far the most important race, I believe, is right here in western Oklahoma for State Senate District 26. And we have one of the candidates in studio, Rick Cook. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Todd. I brought my wife with me this morning. Sheila wanted to come and see what we talk about or participate in the conversation, so she's with us here this morning.
Hey, Sheila, how are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Thank you.
I know it's your favorite thing to talk on the mic, right, too? Yeah. Well, let's talk about things. We had the final forum between yourself and your opponent in Watonga last week. How do you feel that went?
I thought it went real well, and as always, I always thank the people for showing up, because the more people get involved, the more they learn, the more they know, the better decisions they can make. So they had a good crowd, and so, I mean, all the forums we've had have seemed to draw a good crowd of people, so that's something that's really positive, I think.
You know, one of the things, and we were just talking on air because I got to be there for it, every forum, you know, there are some questions that, you know, you get the standard questions, the big issues that people are concerned about, but they also have local issues that they're concerned about. So we had some great questions about Roman nose and things like that, because every area, and this is kind of a wide district, so every area has some local concerns that are important, right?
Right. Well, there's 5 counties included in the district, and I mean Blaine County, Watonga is one of those counties, but all 5 counties have different concerns. And so it's good to know and understand all those and be able to communicate about them. And I mean, Watonga being on a highway, a very busy highway, and then access to Romano State Park, and then the current situation at Southard that's going on, where they've announced an idling for November 30th at the plant there at Southard. It's a big concern for jobs and stuff. And, you know, we're also looking at a lot of activity going on right now in that area with oil and gas, which is good, and, you know, different employment opportunities, which may help fill some of those needs that are going to be seen in, I guess, December 1. So, and they're not, you know, I think there's been a lot of research done. There'll continue to be more about an idling is not a permanent closure or not a for sale sign. It's what happens next, and we'd all like to know that.
Yeah, it's a big concern for sure, and we'll have to see, but is affecting people. The good news is that with the economy right now, there are jobs out there, so hopefully a lot of those. Now, I know some of the folks have taken transfers to go to some of their other plants, but a lot of people have already found other jobs here.
Well, and we're sitting at 4% or less in some of our areas of District 26 as far as unemployment rate, so it means there's opportunities to find jobs elsewhere. And I know even like any of us don't want to have to change gears if we don't have to, but it's good to have other opportunities out there.
It is for sure. Well, Sheila, let's talk about how the campaign's been going for you, because first of all, you're a great support for Rick, and I know he leans on you a lot, because it is not an easy thing to do, to be gone all the time campaigning, right?
Well, you know, the nice thing is we've been doing that together.
Yeah.
And it's really, some people say campaigning's hard. I think campaigning is an opportunity to meet so many people. And actually, I've always been in jobs until I went to work for Rick, and now I do accounting. But I love getting out and meeting everybody. It has just been so fun, and I get so geared up that I'm like, oh, I really need to go back to work for just a little bit.
What's the funnest thing that's happened on the campaign trail that you can think of? Really
getting to know people in the other towns and communities, and then seeing what their ultimate needs are.
Yeah. And as we talked about earlier, Rick, every community has something different. I mean, what are the biggest concerns here in Custer County?
Well, it's going to be rural health care, you know, and how the new improvements at Southwestern play into that, with the expansion of the pharmacy program, the nursing programs and stuff. That's a big concern. Education is a big concern. You know, everybody wants quality education. I mean, schools started back. Public schools are still where the majority of our children get educated. And like I've said many times, our children are our future. So We're fortunate to have Corn Bible Academy in our area. We also have a lot of parents that homeschool. So there's a lot of parents that are actively engaged in trying to do what's best for their kids, including being very supportive of the public schools.
Yeah, and the education issue is so important. And, of course, some legislation has been passed in the last year to kind of help improve reading. Of course, we always hear about vouchers. That's something you're always asked about, But to me, it just seems like there can be a balance between a public education and a public education. It's really all about choice, right? They don't have to be at odds with each other, but sometimes people try to make it seem that way, don't they?
Right, and I don't want to just call it competition, but it is something that motivates people to do a better job when you have choices. I mean, we've been in competitive businesses all my career for 47 years, and no one had to come and do business with me, whether it be a farmer, rancher, oil field guy, or whatever. People chose to because I worked harder and did a better job. And I think we're blessed to have a lot of very good public school systems that do a better job. I mean, you can go walk through a lot of them and see the facilities and basically see the quality of the people and talk to them and get to know them and know that there's competition going on, but they're rising to the competition or surpassing it.
Well, and one of the other things that I like to point out, and it's just me with my opinion, but, every time people talk about problems with, quote, public schools, they're usually talking about Oklahoma City and Tulsa because we are blessed with great schools and great teachers out here, aren't we?
Yeah, it'd almost be neat to see the statistics of how our 5 counties in the district stack up nationwide with other districts and stuff, because I think the rating that's given overall is the overall state, and that does include the 2 largest population counties in Oklahoma, which is Oklahoma County and Tulsa County. So that kind of skews the numbers quite a bit because they just overwhelm us in numbers. But, just go out there and see the people and see the school system, see the things that's going on, the improvements being made. And I really think the no-sale bell-to-bell and things like that's been done are positive. Proficiency tests are positive. I mean, it's all about preparation. My whole career has been about being prepared for what's next. And our kids are the same way. How to prepare them best for what's next in their life, and it could be career tech, it could be college education, it could be just going to work. And so we want them to have the best foundation underneath them. The parents that homeschool feel the same way. The parents that go to private school feel the same way, and the parents that send their kids to public school feel the same way.
Staying with education, by the way, it's Rick and Sheila Cook in the studio today. Rick running for state senate. We're 1 week away from the runoff election, which will decide the winner because there is no Democratic candidate, so this will not go to the general election. One of the things I hear most from educators out there, they appreciate when the legislature, does things to try to help them. But it seems like every couple of years, the legislature has a new idea of, hey, let's change this or let's implement this. And it seems like there's no consistency. And so when it comes to, for example, state testing or the A through F grading scale, seems like that changes every couple of years. So you can't go back and say what really worked because we're changing again. Do you think we need to kind of just see how the last stuff we've done has worked for a few years before we legislate anything else?
Well, I think there's a lot to be said for that, but it's also good to get input from the area superintendents and principals and the teachers that are out there with the children and working with them every day and see what they think about that. Because I don't think you can continue to change the rules as the days roll forward just to see if you get a better score. So I think there's some scoring mechanisms need to be there. I mean, that's the same way as in life. I mean, we can't just make it where I always win or I always pass. We need to make it where everybody does their best to achieve the most for themselves.
Now, Caddo County is another area. You've been over there. You've spent quality time. What are you hearing from folks over there? Same concerns?
Same concerns, jobs, what to do to keep the young people there. I mean, when I mention rural health care, that goes for the young people as well as people our age, Todd.
Yeah.
I mean, because health care is important if you're going to be starting a family or if you're in the latter years of your life. And so all that's going to be important, whether it's Caddo County, Canadian County, all the Kingfisher County, all the counties in the district. So health care is going to be a big, big number for all of us to have it quality and to have it close by. Education, of course, in Caddo County is very important too. But what new jobs could be there to keep people from leaving? I mean, some of our cities in District 26 are close enough to Oklahoma City. There's a lot of people that commute.
Yeah.
But the closer we can keep the jobs, the less we're apt to lose the people. And so I think Caddo County, they're blessed with a lot of natural resources, a lot of great farming ground. I mean, all of us can pray more for rain because there are a lot of farmers in that area that need even more rain. We've had some recent fires that a little bit of rain would help a lot with that. One of my friends from down there had just cut some hay that he was going to bale the next day, and it burned up before he got to bale it, and it burned the wooden fence post and everything. So it was like a tragic fire. It wasn't good timing or anything for that, but luckily the damage was limited, so it didn't get to his hay stack where he had a lot of hay already baled up. So, finding ways, and I use that example of O'Keene a lot with the Mountain Country Foods, where they do a lot of things there with locally grown crops. I call it value-added products. We can think about what to do maybe with the natural gas that we're sitting on top of, and Caddo County is a big piece of that, just like Custer is. I mean, there's a lot of natural gas in all 5 of these counties. And so what can we do to get more value of that for the area? I mean, where they take wheat that's grown locally and make it into dog biscuits. It's a pretty important deal. It turns a wheat crop and from a lesser value to a more valuable product, just like baking bread with wheat does.
Yeah. It's good stuff. We're talking with Rick Cook, who is a candidate for state senate. Once again, 1 week from today is the runoff election. Quick break, back with more right after this.
I'm Marty Quinn. I was in the insurance business for 40 years. I know high premiums are devastating family budgets. As your insurance commissioner, I will deliver accountability and affordability, put Oklahoma families first, and ensure the consumer always wins with Quinn. I'm Marty Quinn. I'm running for insurance commissioner because premiums are too high and consumers are being left behind. I have the experience and the conservative record to deliver accountability, affordability, and consumer protection to ensure the customer wins with Quinn.
Paid and authorized by friends of Marty Quinn.
Mike Mazie has a plan to give $1 billion of your tax money to a foreign Muslim government. You work hard to pay your bills, and Mike Mazie wants to line the pockets of foreigners with your tax dollars. Protect your future. Protect your wallet. Vote no on Mike Mazie. Gettner Drummond's plan puts Oklahoma first. Drummond will give much-needed tax relief to Oklahoma seniors, Oklahoma small businesses, and Oklahoma families. And Gettner Drummond will stop the foreign ownership of land and will ban Sharia law in Oklahoma. Gettner Drummond, Oklahoma first, always. On August 25th, vote Conservative Republican. Vote Gettner Drummond for governor. Not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee. Authorized and paid for by Put Oklahoma First, LLC. 210 North Mustang Mall, number 1018. Mustang, Oklahoma, 73064. 405-764-1606.
Wright Media has Western Oklahoma covered. On the radio with the Coyote Classic, The Zoo, The Score, and News Talk KCLI. Plus, live streaming local sports like Clinton, Weatherford, Thomas, Sayre, Watauga, Hinton, Hydro, and Southwestern Oklahoma State University. We also cover Western Oklahoma with the West Oak Weekly. We deliver sports, entertainment, and information on air, in print, or online. That's Wright.media.
It's 2 a.m. and your house feels like July broke in, kicked off its boots, and decided to stay a while. You're lying there listening to your AC, trying to decide if it's actually running or just making noise out of guilt. You tell yourself it'll probably make it till morning. By sunrise, it's not a question anymore. It's a full-blown resignation letter from your AC. That's when you call Heinz Refrigeration. Repairs, service, and installs to get your home back to cold where it belongs. Heinz Refrigeration, keeping you cool and comfortable all summer long. Visit HeinzRefrigerationLLC.com. It's hard to stop a train.
I can't emphasize the importance of the fact that you have a large selection of Lazy Boy.
We are Western Oklahoma's premier Lazy Boy showroom. We've got a lot of selection here. 3 floors, unmatched comfort, #1 recliner brand. Everything is marked down right now. And we have 12 months interest-free financing.
That's at Todd Fest, folks. Long live the Lazy. Todd Fest, main corner downtown Weatherford. Todd Fest, for the best in quality, service, and price.
Helios Injection Systems has the solution for eliminating emissions using sustainable solar power. The Nimue V-Twin air compressor connects right up to your existing equipment for a seamless install with zero downtime. From a single pneumatic valve to a multi-well pad, you can rely on the Nimue V-Twin air compressor from Helios. Need more? Lower your operating costs by adding the optional solar power pack for an off-grid energy boost. Call or check out HeliosPumps.com today.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
724, welcome back to the Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show. Our guests this morning, Rick and Sheila Cook. Rick is running for State Senate District 26, and one of the issues that has been brought up in this campaign is experience. Well, Sheila, you know firsthand that your husband has a lot of experience. I mean, he's one of the hardest working guys out there, right?
Yes, but he also studies about everything to a degree that he wants to be able to explain it to everybody, and he just absorbs knowledge, which has been great, because what I see is people that say, well, I can learn about this, but do they really learn about it and prepare themselves? And he is prepared with experience.
Yeah, Rick, I think that is a fair point. I've noticed that at forums. I mean, there's usually not a question that somebody asks that you haven't already researched. And that takes time to do, but you like to be an informed person, right?
Well, and I've always liked to read and research stuff. I mean, it's just been one of my, I guess, nerdy habits or hobbies is I've always loved history. And so I think you can learn a lot from history, studying history, because history does repeat itself.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of lessons to be learned. And so trying to be prepared is one of the things that I've always tried to do. And even in the forum the other night when it got brought up about whether I was too busy or not, we've been preparing for this office for a long time. And, you know, having run for office before, having dealt with people in the state house and the state senate over the last 25, 35 years, has led us to get an opportunity to learn a lot. The time I've spent with Harold Wright when he was a pro tem, and now with Anthony Moore that he's a pro tem. I mean, and Lonnie Paxton is in the Senate, and of course Darcy's in the Senate, and I know several other people in the Senate that are good people and that try to do the right thing. And I think that, you know, I can walk in with enough experience to be able to hold my own in any conversation, and also know when that I need to say I need to check into that. Let me get some time to study things and go out and actually study it.
And there's a learning curve for anybody somewhat when you're stepping into something new, but real world experience is such a huge part. And it's not like you've been a stranger to the legislature. As you mentioned, you've been in constant contact, whether it's Harold, Anthony, Darcy, but other folks out there, because you, as a self-made man, a businessman, there is sometimes legislation that's important to you, and you make the phone call and reach out to them, or maybe there's something they haven't thought about. Hey, have you guys thought about this? This is an issue that's facing us. So you have experience with dealing with legislation, right?
Right. Well, and our experience in dealing with sales tax, payroll tax, property tax, insurance, I mean, we work with all those aspects of business. And so we've been able to help explain it to people in the legislature and help them better understand from our side of the fence, whether it be a retail concern or a wholesale concern, or in our case, restaurants, hotels, all kinds of things that drive the economy. And then other areas we've been involved with on economic development, on developing property. When you take some property, talking about value added, you take some property that's generating no property tax whatsoever, and you turn it into something special like we did in O'Keene with our store, or like in Hinton with a store, or Burns Flat with a store. We've done it over and over again and continue to do it, where we take something that's not producing very well for anybody, including the tax assessor's office and ourselves, and make it into something that's really special. So feasibility studies is what I've done a lot, reading the economy, understand what traffic patterns are and traffic flows and how to get the most value out of those. I mean, there's a lot of things that I've done that a lot of people have not done, and it's just been learn on the job, do it with your own money, and you learn a little bit faster when it's your own money. So, I actually served for over a year on the Judicial Review Board when Mike Schultz was the pro tem of the Senate.
Oh, wow.
And Senator Schultz wanted me to be on there. And it was interesting because I was the only non-lawyer on the whole panel, and you got to review cases where people had filed grievances against attorneys. Wow. And that they were investigated. And it was interesting to know that they had their own investigating body that did police that up. So, what I learned is that they try to keep the profession correct and doing things the right way. And, I sat with a professor of law from the University of Oklahoma and became good friends with him. And it was really interesting the different things we talked about with these cases. And, so you learn a lot by being involved. Different boards that I've been on. Our Petroleum Market Association was interesting because dealing with underground storage tanks and the environment. Then oil and gas issues that we've dealt with, it would be mineral leasing or participating in drilling of wells, which we've done that too. Some have been better than others, obviously. And understand the value of the minerals to the people that have the farmland too. And seeing the guys that got the windmills, the guys that didn't get the windmills, different opinions of that. And then, of course, the data center conversation that's going on right now, how that impacts Oklahoma. The chance to have the nuclear campus maybe come to Oklahoma, what kind of jobs that could create, the concerns about the smelter, what kind of things that could happen to the environment and stuff, because we still love Oklahoma, and we want to keep Oklahoma clean and keep Oklahoma nice, because like I said earlier, our kids are our future. We want our kids to have a future in Oklahoma. So that's going to be important to preserve Oklahoma and keep it nice. That was another thing that Sheila walked with me when we was up at Romano's the other day to see the water bubbling out of the ground, 58 degrees, and know there's hope for Lake Watonga coming back and all that to be restored the way it should be, and it will be done soon. Yeah. And then yesterday I was at Exit 65 at Clinton checking on the progress there, and I always tell people the good Lord takes care of idiots. I'm living proof. I mean, all that happened after we bought that property.
Right.
And because of our past experience in working with many road contractors, I contacted them and said, hey, do you need a place to set up a construction yard? And they said, yeah, we need one on the north side and the south side. And I said, I got the spot.
Yeah,
and
you're
so,
doing it.
I mean, I'm telling you, they had 144,000 cubic yards of dirt to move. Yeah. And we're helping with that. And I think it's going to be a great project. And just the timeliness of it is going to be the turnaround point for Clinton. I mean, and I always tell people, Dysfunction Junction, your days are numbered.
That's right.
And it may be as soon as Thanksgiving of 27 to be completely done, maybe. I mean, it's moving fast. And it's just amazing when you drive there once a week or twice a week just to see the progress. So progress for Oklahoma is what we're all about.
Absolutely. Rick Cook is our guest this morning, Sheila Cook as well. Once again, we're a week away. Now, this is the time of year when endorsements come out, too, and you've received several endorsements. So,
right. We shied away from endorsements from companies that might want something in the future from us because I know there's strings attached. But we were proud to get the endorsement of our friend Brady Butler. We got to be friends throughout the campaign. He's a young man that I respect a lot. He's kind of like one of our, I guess, foster kids, if you want to call him that, because he's so smart, so interesting to talk to, and he'll gain experience, and he'll be good. And talking about knowing a lot about oil and gas, I mean, he does it with his own hands and works really hard. Got to meet his family and talk to them, so I really cherish that endorsement. The endorsement we got from the OK2A group, which is a very good group for Second Amendment rights, and got to meet with Don Spencer and spend some time with him. Glad to see his health's improved because he had a little health scare. And, we got the AQ rating from the NRA. That was something we really cherish a lot because, again, Second Amendment rights are very important to us. Make Oklahoma healthy again. Endorsed me also, and that was a scoring mechanism they had, and my score was what they wanted to see. And I think their viewpoints are very good because they're concerns about the health of Oklahoma, not just the health of America, but the health particularly about Oklahoma. And so I think having input from them is good too. Was no money attached to any of these endorsements that I'm talking about. So it's been really gratifying to get to know more people. And I hate it that people have to line up on one side or the other, because there's some people that will make the wrong choice, and they'll have to make amends for that later. But this is an election that there's two people involved in. There's not a Democrat, like you said earlier. So August 25th makes the decision. And I hope by 7:30 next Tuesday night it's over, and I feel like we'll have a victory. And I really will appreciate the interaction I've had with Jessica, because I told her early on it's a free country. When Brady filed, when she filed, I think it's great that people get involved. More people should get involved. It shouldn't just be one person running for office. Right. It shouldn't be just one party running for office. We need people to have their voices heard and to get out there and do some stuff, because it does make a difference when people basically exercise the right to vote.
Absolutely. Well, bottom line it for folks, Sheila, why is your husband the best choice for this Senate seat?
Well, because of his experience, I believe, with our business. And you don't want someone going in that just says, let me get back to you, or I'm going to try to learn that. There are critical issues in this district, whether it be water or AI centers or whatever is going on throughout the communities, and Rick is the one that can take care of it and get the solutions the fastest.
All right. Well said. Rick, final comment for the folks out there.
Thank my wife for getting up and coming out this morning. We always get up early, but she usually does her thing, and I do my thing, and I asked her to change her routine this morning and come along with me, so I'm really proud to have her here with me. Thank you for having us out, Todd. Thank you to Wright Broadcasting. I mean, Harold's been a good friend for a long time. I hope his health continues to get better, because he's a great man for Western Oklahoma, and his voice is still one that I like to hear. And, it's been a very gratifying experience.
All right. Well, good luck to you both. All right. Rick Cook, Sheila Cook, our guests this morning. Once again, if you missed any of this interview, we'll have the podcast up later on today on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Right.Media, YouTube. It's all over those places. All right. It's not on TikTok, because I don't do TikTok. Stick around. We got news coming up next. When you're making decisions as important as choosing home health or hospice for a loved one, it's important to ask the right questions. Are they locally owned? Are they proven through years of successful business practices? If necessary, can you transition from home health to hospice with the same care given? You can find all this and more at your locally owned Shepherd Home Health and Hospice. They've been serving Clinton and the surrounding area since 2006 with dependable, local, and reliable care. Shepherd Home Health and Hospice of Clinton. Call today.
Senate District 26 needs a leader who understands our local economy, not someone learning on the job.
Western Oklahoma needs a leader who has a proven record of listening and accomplishing. For over 40 years, I've run successful businesses thanks to great people here in District 26. Together, we can continue to do great things. Now I'm ready to serve as your next state senator.
For steady leadership and proven results, vote Rick Cook for state senate.
Paid for by friends of Rick Cook 2026.
All right, 7:36. We got John hanging out in the news center. Good morning to you, sir.
Hey, good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, are you ready for the heat?
I think so. I'm trying. I was hoping it would not be as hot as it's turning out to be, but that's continuing. This morning in the middle of the night, I can get to wake up to the dogs barking, and I'm pretty sensitive because the dogs have bark collars on, so when they do bark, I'm like, okay, something's up. Like, why are they? And sure enough, I've been trying to catch a possum for a couple months now.
Where you live, you've got a possum running around.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
No, first time.
Hilarious.
First time I ran out there in my underwear trying to get it, and the dogs had it cornered, and then I tried to get it.
Get that vision out of my head.
And Taylor wouldn't let me kill it. So I ended up trying to, but the dog used it as a chew toy. Then it played possum, did the whole curled up, stuck its tongue out, looked all funny. So threw it back out in the alley, moved on. Now the possum learned if I don't go in the yard, if I just sit on the top of the fence like a cat, then I can just sit there and tease him the whole time. Wow. So I've walked up and I've had to knock it off the fence with a rake, and I may have tried to hit it harder than I should have, but either way. And then, this morning about 4:15, same thing. I get up and I hear, now I've decided to take a trap, and I have a trap sitting in the alley that's baited with, so I pull my car around into the alley, And I pulled the trap out, set it there. I was like, man, I don't have anything to put in it. What do I have in here? So I took a beef stick, and I chewed it up a little bit, and then put it in the trap. And then I had a little Flamin' Hot Cheetos remnants left over.
Nice.
I put that in the trap. That's a possum feast right there. And then, I woke up in the middle of the night, and you hear the cage rattling out there, and I tried to open the gate to see, but the dogs were rushing out. I was like, all right. So I got in my car, drove around the alley, and sure enough, in the cage, Weatherford's finest feline cat.
I was going to say, wouldn't you know, you'd catch a cat.
Oh, of course you would. It's
Weatherford.
Weatherford.
Of a possum. Yeah, they're all over the place.
They're everywhere.
So.
Anyways, so maybe tomorrow I got to reset the trap because the cat did eat my baby bird beef stick.
Well, I'm ready for some possum innards like Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies used to cook. So you let me know when you catch one. Okay?
I will. Will you cook it for us?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm in.
A little paprika. It's good.
Get behind that.